fifth graders. All right, so we are back with Simple Solutions. This is lesson 99. I have 4 problems to go over. We're gonna start kind of in the middle with number 8 because it requires this drawing and it took me forever to make, so I'm gonna start there. Number 8 says, study the rectangular prism, that's this shape. If you can imagine, it looks like a Rubik's Cube. It says its height is 3 units. What is the area of its base? Now, to answer this question, you need 2 pieces of information. Number 1, the base of something is the side that it sits on. So if my eraser is sitting on my hand, the base would be this surface that's the bottom. Okay, so if it was sitting this way in my hand, we would call this the base. So we kind of have to use our imagination here to picture the surface that this cube is sitting on. Then the other piece you need to know is how to find the area of a rectangle. And that equation is area equals length times your width. Okay, so we have the length and width labeled here for us. So our area equals whatever our length is, and you can see in your book it has 1, 2, 3 units. So our length is 3 times whatever our width is, and it's also, in this case, 3. 1, 2, 3 units. So our area is 3 times 3, or 9. Make sure we label it units. And area is measured in units squared. Remember, we were talking about how I'm multiplying 2 measurements here. 3 times 3 gives me 2 measurements, so my exponent on my units is going to be 2. Okay, so the area of the base of this rectangular prism is 9 units squared. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit to number 4. Number 4 talks about Daryl and how he has $76 and he wants to save 1/4 of that. Okay, so 1/4 of his money. Just in hearing me say he wants to save 1/4 of his money should trigger in your brain that you are going to multiply by a fraction. So we have what is 1/4 of $76. We know how to multiply fractions like that. We know that 76 has an invisible denominator of 1. And I'm not sure off the top of my head if 76 is divisible by 4, but I know for sure they're both even numbers. So I'm going to divide them both by 2 to start with. Right? And 76, if you need to do it over here, 76 divided by 2, 2 goes into 7 3 times, remainder 1. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So we have 38. And then we can reduce again because 38 is divisible by 2. So we've got a 1. And then 38 divided by 2 would give you 19. So the answer would be $19. He saves $19. 1/4 of 76 would give you 19. Okay, moving on. On to number 9. We have 54 pints. And we want to know how many quarts that's going to equal. 54 pints is how many quarts. Now, to figure this out, you can use your help pages. There's probably a helpful hint there. But I know, off the top of my head, that there are 2 pints in every 1 quart. 2 pints equals 1 quart. Okay? So, to get from pints to quarts, you have to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. So, 54 divided by 2 will give you the number of quarts. Well, let me move that down so I have room. 54 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times. 1, bring down my 4. 2 goes into 14 7 times. I have 27 quarts. 54 pints equals 27 quarts. Okay. Last but not least, I would like to look at number 13. It's just an addition problem, but if we didn't stack our decimals correctly, we would have gotten an incorrect number. So we have 6 and 48 hundredths plus 14 and 2 tenths. Okay, so we need to write these so that these numbers are stacked on top of each other. Remember, when we add or subtract decimal numbers, the decimals have to be stacked on top of each other. Okay, they have to be nice in a nice column line. So here I have 6 and 48 hundredths. Now I know that my decimal for my 14 and 2 tenths has to be right underneath this decimal. So I'm going to write that in first. Then I can write my 14 and my 2. So my 4 goes here, and my 1 sticks out a little bit, and my 2's there, and I have a blank there. Now, you are good to go to add here. If these blanks are bothering you, you can just draw a 0, or write a 0 in, right? We know that this 0 is not going to change the fact that this number is still 6 and 48 hundredths. And this 0, we know that we can add as many zeros as we want at the end of a decimal, and it doesn't do anything to the value of the number. So now we can just add 8 plus 0 is 8, 4 plus 2 is 6, carry down my decimal point, 6 plus 4 is 10, 1 plus 1 is 2. So my answer should be 20 and 68 hundredths. Okay? Make sure these decimal points are stacked up or else you get a completely incorrect answer. Alright, that is all for me for lesson 99. Stay tuned, I will upload lesson 100 as well. As always, email me with any questions and I will help you out. Bye!